With the 2015 Major League Soccer regular season rapidly approaching for the Portland Timbers Football Club, they have assembled in midweek at Providence Park in downtown Portland for their second match in the Simple Invitational, a four-team tournament ahead of the regular season, not only for the Chicago Fire, the Timbers, and the Vancouver Whitecaps, but Stabæk of Norway as well. The Timbers will be facing the Chicago Fire this evening. Kickoff is about 10 minutes away. I'm Keith Blyer, and I will be back with my broadcast partner Ross Smith as the teams take the field in about 5 minutes on a cool evening in the Rose City. So stick with us on Timbers.com. We'll have all of the action for you coming up in a few minutes.
All right, fans, now let's meet the teams for tonight's contest. First, the starting 11 for the Chicago Fire. Starting in goal, number 25, Sean Johnson. On defense, number 27, Kingsley Rice. Number 6, Eric Gehrig. Number 4, Adilitai. Number 22, Patrick Duty. Number 16, Greg Cochran. Number 21, Chris Ritter. Number 7, Alex. Number 26, Michael Stevens. Number 24, Quincy Amarikwa. And number 77, Kennedy Ivananike. Available subs for Chicago tonight include number 18, John Bush. Number 1, Alec Kann. Number 3, Joanne Jones. Number 5, Lavelle Palmer. Number 2, Matt Bolster. Number 30, Rosman Cochise. Number 20, Jeff Lorenowitz. Number 10, Sean Maloney. Number 19, Harry Schiff. Number 8, Mac Watson. Number 46, Albert Edwards. Number 29, Sheldon Winchester. Number 23, Juli DePrado. And number 17, Colin Fernandez. And now, here's the starting 11 for your Portland Timbers. Starting in goal, number 33, Andrew Weber. On defense, number 15, Jonderson. Number 35, Anthony Manning. Number 23, Roberto Paparotto. Number 20, Taylor May. At midfield, number 11, Dagron Espria. Number 17, Michael Lanchon. Number 27, Nick Beasler. Number 26, George Koshime. Number 10, Gaston Fernandez. And number 37, Maximiliano Arruti. Available subs for the Timbers tonight. Number 29, Justin Luthi. Number 28, Andy Toma. Number 25, Danny O'Rourke. Number 6, Darlington Nagby. Number 9, Fernando Addy. Number 32, Shilo Schuma. Number 46, Rondell Winchester. And number 42, Blair Gavin.
Providence Park in downtown Portland, Oregon. The site tonight for a dry run, if you will, as the 2015 Portland Timbers get ready for another long and challenging campaign in Major League Soccer. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to 18th and Morrison. I'm Keith Blyer, along with Ross Smith, and there aren't many dress rehearsals left, Ross, as the viewers join us on Timbers.com ahead of a preseason match with the Chicago Fire. It's game 2 of 3 games for the Timbers in the Simple Invitational. The first match of this event did not go well for Portland against Vancouver Whitecaps FC just a few days ago. Not only did they lose 1-0, they lost Ben Zemanski for the season with a torn ACL, or for a significant part of the season. We wish him a speedy recovery. Paul Moduka, a former Timber, scored the goal. And then, of course, 2 players were sent off in the second half, Rodney Wallace and Liam Ridgewell. It doesn't matter, and that is the good news. It will be interesting to see how the Timbers react here tonight, Ross, but aside from a few familiar faces, we're going to see some unknown commodities. This is going to be a real chance for Caleb Porter and his staff to observe what they have.
Yeah, well, I think it's one thing when you come in, anytime you step on the pitch, you're being evaluated, whether you're proven, whether you're unproven. But for these guys tonight, it's an opportunity for them to be shown under the pressure of fans, under the pressure of a worthy opponent, and to show that you're capable of playing in this league. And you look at some of the young faces that are on display tonight. Taylor Pay, I think he's got tremendous potential. Good build to him, good pace, athletic. You see him on the right side of a back four. Also one I'm looking forward to, as many fans I'm sure, is Beasler. To see him coming out of college, can he hack it at the pro game? And then, of course, Asprilla. Big signing from the Colombian coming in. You're looking for him to offer something the Timbers perhaps lacked last season. Was that width? Was that pace? Was that directness in the team? And so him coming to the side, I know a lot of fans will be looking because he was one of the big name signings in the offseason. And then, of course, well, your 2 known faces are Rudy and Gaston Fernandez up front. 2 players who perhaps Caleb Porter's seen, okay, how's that relationship play out? Are they a 2 that we can go to at the start of the game? And those guys looking to be in the starting 11, not just subs as they were often used last season?
You mentioned, Ross, Fernandez and Arudi up top for the Timbers. Yes, they will be playing in a 2-forward formation. It's a 4-4-2. That is the system of play that Caleb Porter will install here this evening. And Fernandez and Arudi will play just 45 minutes. It is already known, at least the plan is for Darlington Nagbe and Fernando Adi to be the front runners in the second 45 minutes. As you can see, the Timbers and the Chicago Fire are making their way out to midfield. There is a nice midweek preseason crowd on hand here, and the rain is holding off. It drizzled earlier this evening during the first match of 2 here tonight. Vancouver Whitecaps FC beat Stabæk. That's Bob Bradley's side from Norway. Final score was 3-2. The Whitecaps got up 3-0. Stabæk scored twice late in the match to make it interesting. We'll give you the starting 11 for both teams, but first we pause for the singing of the national anthem, and that will be brought to us by Miss Allison O'Neill.
Who will honor us with her rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
You can tell by the breath coming out of the mouth of Allison O'Neill that it is a bit chilly here. Nowhere near, I think, as cold as Sunday's match against Vancouver. The wind is down as the teams shake hands and the fans settle in for this preseason match between the Timbers and the Chicago Fire. Let's get you the starting 11 first for the visiting Fire under their man Frank Yallop, and they'll go with a 4-4-2 as well. Sean Johnson, their first choice goalkeeper, is back between the posts after having the night off over the weekend. The back four is Patrick Duty, Adi Alton, the Brazilian, alongside Eric Gehrig in the middle. Kingsley Bryce will get a run out as the right back. The four midfielders, Greg Cochran out on the left, Alex, another Brazilian, on the right. Chris Ritter will be more of a holding midfielder with Michael Stevens, the former Galaxy man, in front of him. And the two forwards, boy, the young back four for the Timbers will be tested tonight because Quincy Amarikwa, a proven goal scorer, will be up top with the Nigerian Kennedy Igboananike, who had a number of looks to score against Stabæk on Sunday, but could not find the back of the net. All right, the starting 11 for the Portland Timbers as they pose for their pre-match snapshot. Andrew Weber, you can see, is the goalkeeper tonight. And here is Caleb Porter's 4-4-2. Janderson, the man in the ponytail, the Brazilian, the number 15, is out left. Norberto Paparatto and Anthony Manning, a rookie from St. Louis University, are the center backs. Taylor Pay, the former Washington Husky, out on the right. The midfielders, wide on the left, Michael Nanchoff. On the right, the Colombian Dairon Asprilla. And then this should be an interesting evaluation in the middle of the park for Porter and his coaches. They're going with two very young men in George Foshive, a second-year Timber, just 22 years old, out of Washington, D.C. And then the draft pick, Nick Beasler, the 21-year-old from Notre Dame, will be starting in the middle of the park along with Foshive. The two forwards, the proven talent, if you will, up top for Portland, Gaston Fernandez and Maxi Arudi. The officials for this match will be led by Dave Gantar. Chicago Fire have not lost, but they have only scored one goal in preseason, and that man, the number 24, Quincy Amarikwa, is the one who scored the goal against Queen's Park Rangers in England. The Fire drew at Norwich City over there in the UK, beat QPR 1-0 in London, and then drew with Stabæk. The Timbers have an even record of 1 win, 2 draws, and that loss on Sunday. A little bit of a false start to get us going. There is the second whistle, and the one that matters. The final countdown to the 2015 Timbers season has begun. It is now T-minus 10 days as Amarikwa takes a quick shot for the Chicago Fire. Tonight, of course, we count up to 90 minutes. Timbers Invitational as Portland fights fire, taking on Chicago here. But it's more about how they play. Caleb Porter and his staff looking for the combinations that might unlock defenses up top. They're evaluating young talent, and they're getting some valuable minutes for some important players. Chicago on the ball to begin this one. That's young Chris Ritter dropping it out wide right to Eric Gehrig. So, Russ, what do you think about the 4-4-2 tonight for Caleb Porter? He's normally the man that goes with that 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 formation.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that relationship is with the two up front, Fernandez and Arudi, just to see how they feed off each other. I look for them staying more connected, for them to have the combination play, but as well, you got two players with a predatory instinct. Balls into the box, they're looking for a sniff. They're looking for a have a chance. Two similar players, so you got to play accordingly. So they're looking to get the balls into that box so they can go sniffing around that area.
Here's Foshive, diagonal ball looking for Asprilla, who was cutting in from wide right. Fire come away. Alex dispossessed. And a deep throw in on the far side for Chicago. Frank Gallup entering his second season in charge of this Chicago side. Very impressive resume in this league. Here's Igbonanike. Wide but slow, and Asprilla takes that one away easily. Into the feet of Lagata. Gaston Fernandez through the center circle. Michael Nanchoff. Arudi peels out wide. Let Jonderson go by on the overlap. Another long diagonal ball. Picks out Asprilla inside the 18. Quickly doubled, and a loose pass here in the first 2.5 minutes.
You see the instruction that Jonderson's been given. Any opportunity to get into the attacking half for him to overlap. That's what I say. Michael Nanchoff on that side, he tends to drift inside the pitch, to look to combine, opening up the outside flanks for Jonderson to get around. Side closest to Asprilla, he's one with his own pace. He'll look to create himself his own half a yard to get crosses whipped in.
Creative look with the outside of the boot there for Fernandez, looking for his countryman Arudi. There's Ritter, 24-year-old from Illinois. His pass picked off. And Nick Beasler gets an early touch here. He's wearing the number 27. Yes, he is the younger brother of Matt Beasler of Sporting Kansas City and the U.S. men's national team. This is him here. Decorated career at Notre Dame. Nanchoff runs it down. Jonderson looking to use Anthony Manning. Instead, it's back to Weber. And here's Manning, yet another young talent. Boy, he's a towering presence. 6'4" tall back there, Russ.
I'll tell you, to see the two of them at training yesterday, the way they were standing lined up for this match, Paparazzo and Manning, the size of them, you think any aerial duel they should surely be able to handle with ease.
You could bet he's a bit nervous, and that pass might be evidence.
That's one thing with the youngsters that you get coming on in front of this crowd, that it's going to take a few minutes for the nerves to calm, for them to just to get into the pace of the game, get into their own confidence.
Yeah, St. Louis University is a fine program in the Midwest, but this is not the Atlantic 10 anymore for Mr. Manning. 4-year player at SLU. Igbonanike dispossessed. Working the back there by Beasler. Again, however, the Timbers give it away rather cheaply. This is Amarikwa back to goal. Defended by Paparazzo. Turning, sliding through, and that is not penalty kick. In fact, Amarikwa will be going in the book for simulation.
You have to say the referee is very confident in his decision. He did see a leg go out from Paparazzo, but the referee's seen it that Amarikwa he's gone down far too easily.
$15 goals in his young MLS career. Came over to Chicago after a spell with Toronto FC. Went down a bit too easily for the official Dave Gantar, so we've got our first caution. Amarikwa in the book. Weber to get us restarted.
Just looking to see how the referee is going to play out this preseason match. Obviously, a huge talking point was the referee and the bookings that were given last match, and you think, oh, it's a preseason. you don't so much want the referee to be the talking point and to affect the game.
Yeah, that match on Sunday night was a mid-season derby between Portland and Vancouver. 2 red cards, Wallace and Ridgewell. A number of yellow cards, very physical affair. 1-0 Vancouver, final scoreline. Patrick Doody looking for Igbonanike, and nicely headed away by Manning. Again, Manning with the head, this time passing square. Nanchoff drops to Weber. Back for another season with the Timbers. Instead of being the backup to Donovan Ricketts, he is here to understudy, if you will, Adam Kowarski. Jake Gleason also in the picture again for the Timbers. Amarikwa drifting wide, pulling back into the midfield. A little bit of a tug of the jersey from behind. Chicago Fire restart. The Simple Invitational is presented by the official online baking partner of the Portland Timbers. Simple offers friendly support, incredibly easy budgeting tools, and most of all, peace of mind for your money. Open your account today at simple.com/Timbers. Sean Johnson, man in blue back there for Chicago, suffered a pretty nasty gash on his forearm. He collided with a part of the post, the plastic rings that attach the net to the post, and one of the reasons he did not play last weekend. They went with the veteran John Bush, and their scoreless draw was Staubach.
Not a bad backup to have in the experienced John Bush.
Nice touch on the run by Foshive. He gets the ball back. Foshive did appear twice for the Timbers last year in cup competitions. CONCACAF Champions League, he came on as a sub against Alpha United. Played in the U.S. Open Cup against Orlando City U23, so he's being blooded slowly but consistently by Caleb Porter and the staff. Switch of the field by Pay does not pay off. And here's Cochran. Asprilla showing up in surprising fashion from behind. Arudi offside. The flag is up. You can see that on the bottom of your screen.
Just a second too late. Asprilla, first time he picked up his head. Arudi, he's telling him there too. You saw the pass first, play it in. Arudi, he did well to curve his run, come along the line of the defense. That's when he needed the ball through. But Asprilla taking that extra touch was enough to put Arudi offside.
Taylor Pay a bit uncertain in the corner. Hits it skyward. Asprilla tracks it down and is fouled by Chris Ritter. Well, when you talk about the newcomers to the Timbers setup in 2015, Ross, I think Nat Borchers and Kawarsi are at the top of the list. I think they're already slotted into the 11. This is Asprilla, the number 11 out on the right. I think he's a real wild card and maybe number 3 on the list of the players we should watch for.
I think he's one that initially at the start of the season may provide the depth instead of being a starting 11. He's one that can come on, and when the opposing team, whether the legs are a bit tired, he's one that can come on, and if you're on the opposing team, you're thinking that's the last thing you want to deal with. 20 minutes to go, player like Asprilla just wants to run at you, and so that he provides that threat. But as he becomes accustomed to the league, whether he gradually grows into that starting 11 and becomes more a prominent role with the team.
Scored 7 goals in 26 matches last year for his Colombian side, Alianza Petrolera. I think there's some nervy players out here at the moment. Taylor Pay still trying to settle into the match a bit.
I think is what we saw the other night as well too. They are still in preseason, and the preparation coming up to games for preseason isn't as though it's match day. Match day, you're getting a couple days rest before, whereas these fellas, they're still going hard at it right up to it. This is part of their fitness.
Now Dave Gantar thought about that one for a few moments before blowing the whistle, and he believes that Anthony Manning committed the foul. So here's a dangerous restart for Chicago in the 11th minute. Two men over the ball for Chicago. Michael Stevens, fairly open header there at the near post for Chris Ritter. Off the mark.
It was a good ball into the box. As you said, Keith, though, Stevens completely unmarked. As you see, he finds his way just in behind Jonderson. Gets ahead of his runner. I think Anthony Mann, that was his assignment there. That's gone missing.
First real chance for either team in this match. Beasler quickly switching the play. Getting the ball back. Nanchoff, wonderful. Sliding play after the loose touch to get the ball wide to Jonderson. Crafty attempt over there by the Brazilian. They are certainly known for that kind of soccer. South America, Paparazzo loses out to Igboananike. Very powerful, smaller player, the Nigerian, who went square to Amarikwa. Ball bounced up and is quickly cleared away by Portland. Ritter's drop pass picked off by Asprilla, but he plays it behind Nanchoff. Jonderson bombing on. Adielton, volley clearance. Kingsley Bryce then down the line.
Well, you have to think Paparazzo will take note of the pace that he's just seen and realizing he won't have as much time to dwell on the ball.
He's got an extremely quick first step. Igboananike played with a couple teams in Sweden. Actually was most recently with AIK, and that was the team that came here for the preseason tournament 2 years ago. Igboananike was on that roster. Cochran trying to get by Taylor Pay, stands him up nicely. Chicago Fire looking for goal scorers. That is big priority number one. They drew 18 of their 34 matches last year. Arudi tracks one down. Gehrig defending. Asprilla square to another newcomer, Jonderson. Gets the ball back from Nanchoff. Nice work in the corner by those two players. They continue the magic. Nanchoff quickly triple teamed. Jonderson floats far post for Asprilla. Leaps and misses the mark. This is Pay. Duty defending. Chicago trying to build out. Very nicely done there, although Amarikwa, I don't know if he saw Nanchoff. Lagata missed most of that one.
It was a good sequence by the Timbers, though. They worked their way down nicely on the left with Jonderson, cross into the box. Ball eventually found its way to Gaston, and him finding his yard to get a strike off, but just couldn't quite catch enough of the ball.
I'll tell you, the most impressive part of that for Fernandez was that backtracking he just did. Frustrated by his attempt, ran all the way back into the defensive half, and sliding tackle disrupted Chicago. Timbers back on the ball.
That's as a manager you look for as well too, as a player's reaction. Even the ones who are meant to get you the goals. Caleb Porter, he wants to see them putting in a shift as well too.
Quarter of an hour gone at Providence Park. That is Ross Smith. I'm Keith Blyer. Thanks for joining us on the net tonight. We're on Timbers.com, streaming all three of Portland's matches in the Simple Invitational. Fernandez just misses Arudi with the vertical ball to the top of the 18. Forces a diving save out of Sean Johnson.
What a couple fantastic balls we've seen. Gaston slicing through the defense, and then one from Nanchoff, putting it in a great area.
Now he's twisting and turning. Greg Cochran. The cross slides by.
On the back foot here, the Fire there, under the pressure.
Sean Johnson takes the sting out of that one. Timbers spring to life here in the 17th minute. Asprilla's header putting Sean Johnson to work.
You're starting to see the nerves settle down and the quality coming through. Jonathan, a few times we were looking for that from the start. He's getting into that attack in third and whipping a decent ball in, and Nanchoff as well.
High pressure from Nanchoff. forces the error by Gehrig. Nanchoff's been a great utility player for the Timbers over the last couple of years. Played college ball for Caleb Porter. Came into the league with Vancouver. As you can see, he can deliver across from wide. Also pretty good at scoring goals too, Michael Nanchoff. He already has a goal this preseason. Well hit free kick against Sporting Kansas City down in Arizona. He's even teaching the young ones how to finish now. He and his buddy Darlington Nagbe had a finishing academy in Ohio during the off season. Brought the kids in, taught them how to whip it like Darlington and cross it like Mikey maybe.
Darlington did the same with me last year with a few hula hoops. It's quite impressive.
I remember it well. I remind you of it daily.
I know, so does everybody else.
Duty down the line, and here's some space for Greg Cochran. Ritter, Michael Stevens. He spots Kingsley Bryce, but hits it over there with too much pace.
Well, you have to say with the Timbers, with the new faces, they definitely know the identity, the organization of the team. They look solid there in their midfield four and their back four, compressing the pitch between the two. Not many gaps they're showing for Chicago.
Jonderson not sure where to go with the throw in. When in doubt, whip it down the line. Gehrig a header. Jonderson out to touch.
With Chicago are setting up as well too is a 4-4-2, but Ritter looks to be sitting in front of the back four, where Michael Stevens Hill have a bit more license to join in the attack.
So a diamond at times then, Ross, or is it a strict diamond, do you think?
You see the diamond, it will shape up at times, but not one we're used to seeing the likes of Jeff Cassar and Jason Kreis when he was at RSL. Brings an issue, talking point another time. What will we see with New York coming in with Jason Kreis and his famous diamond?
That should be another fun year in Major League Soccer with the two expansion teams. Of course, they join the Eastern Conference, which makes the Western Conference even more difficult overnight with the addition of Sporting Kansas City and Houston.
Right away you look at the youngsters. Do they have the courage to express themselves? And Taylor Pay as a right back, knocking at one side of the player and going the other. It shows you that there's belief, but they're given the freedom to be able to go out there and show their ability.
You remember he got a goal last year in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yep.
Taylor Pay. It was against that Orlando City U23 side. Not afraid to go forward, and in Caleb Porter's system, if you're an outside back, that is almost as important as your defensive duties, it seems. Asprilla, good pressure.
To say Amarikwa has been kept rather quiet where the start of the match, first couple of minutes, he was looking lively. Haven't seen much from him since.
Adielton, one of the newcomers for the Chicago Fire, drives the ball forward. Pumped right back in. How about the chest pass out of George Fashive? Fernandez, the art of drawing the foul.
I think Adielton was looking for the offside, but didn't realize that his center-half partner Gehrig was a couple of yards behind them, keeping George Fashive onside as he came back into the play.
As I mentioned about 3 minutes ago, Michael Nanchoff can strike a fanciful dead ball. He's going to come at it from a pretty severe angle. Almost square to the ball, Ross.
Looks to be sizing up his angle there. Looks to be taking it on.
Nanchoff deflected, it goes in! A subdued celebration for the Timbers midfielder. But he's done it again. 2 free kick goals in the preseason, and Portland's on top.
Well, it is subdued. I think it deserves more of a celebration than what Nanchoff has given us, but I think he's recognizing the deflection it's taken off Alex. But still, it's hit with swerve, it's hit with pace, and it's on target. So the deflection helping it on to wrong foot Sean Johnson to give the Timbers an early lead.
It was Alex who jumped and broke off from the wall. Sean Johnson was confused, and Michael Nanchoff has opened the scoring here tonight. That is the first goal that Chicago has allowed during this entire preseason. It's their 4th match. Shutting out the likes of Queens Park Rangers, Norwich City, and then Stabæk on Sunday night. Alex from distance. Weber smothers.
It was a good hit by Alex, found himself in quite a bit of space. The way he hit it, if we saw another angle from Weber's point of view, it would have been knuckling at him. Thought the goalkeeper did well to handle.
I think Pay would be the first one to tell you that his passing game is a bit shaky to start this match. That one nearly got away from the Timbers. What about Fashive and Beasler? Aside from that attempted chip over Alex, and let's see what Chicago does here. Sliding around is Amarikwa. Top of the 18. Jonderson comes in from behind to disrupt.
Well, you said, I think, about just the first foot wrong for Fashive. Defensively, they look solid. They've stayed connected. Going forward, I think they're getting their angles right. They're not too flat. Nicely balanced so far. But there you have it. They say the commentator's curse.
Well, it's to be expected. It won't be tolerated for long, but this is a big stage for these young players. The victory log has been sufficiently sliced. That will be presented to Michael Nanchoff at the end of the evening. Putting the Timbers on top.
I just thought as a player coming on when you're having one of your first matches of the season, it's around this time when you start to kick into your second win. You want to get to this time, into the 20th minute, where it's amazing how your legs can feel like cement blocks. That your lungs, there's nothing you can reach into them to get air out. But it's around this time you feel like a new player. It kicks in. So a couple of those passes we're seeing, just wondering whether the players, they maybe need this rest here. Nanchoff going down. This is where you can fill the lungs again and get the juices going.
It was the 26th minute on Sunday night when Ben Zimanski was lost with a significant injury. He did end up with an ACL tear. We wish Ben a speedy recovery.
It's a heartbreaker, wasn't it? We were both. Everybody so silent for him, how hard he's worked, how good he's looked in preseason. The role he played when Will Johnson went out. See Caleb just chatting to George right there, and getting that relationship with Beasler. If one's going up, one's dropping in. Have that relationship, stay connected.
Well, he's walking off on his own power, which is a much better sight than the other night when Zimanski was taken off on the stretcher, but it kind of looks with the handshakes and the facial expression that Nanchoff wanted to go a heck of a lot more than 26 minutes tonight. He does have a goal, but his evening is over, and I really can't tell you, be strict conjecture, what the issue is. Handshake from his head coach, and Portland will be forced into an early set.
You have to wonder when he scored the goal as well whether it was something then that he tweaked, but his muted celebration whether it was out of respect of it being a wicked deflection. But I did see him earlier in the match just holding on to a part of his leg one time when the ball's going down the left side.
And now we have a Chicago Fire player down. Most of the attention to the head here of Adi Alton.
You can hear the crowd's reaction as they see it on the screen as well too. A clash of heads. Both players eyes on the ball, going up for a challenge, an honest challenge. Looks like Adi Alton came out the worst of them.
Dairon Asprilla checking on the fallen Fire defender. And this Timber side that began the evening as a young squad gets even younger. Shiloh Schuma's coming on. 22-year-old. Spent a lot of time on loan in USL Pro last year with Orange City Blues and Arizona United. He will play on the left side of the midfield for the Timbers, replacing the goal scorer Michael Nanchoff.
Into the match for the Timbers, number 32, Shiloh Schuma, replacing number 17, Michael Nanchoff.
Cochran having none of Asprilla coming over to say hello.
Giving his team a chance to set up so they couldn't take a quick one.
It's Michael Stevens again. Whips a ball in. Headed away by Pay. Can the Timbers counter? Shiloh Schuma streaming forward. Great ball to the feet of Schuma by Fernandez. But his first touch lets him down. His literal first touch of the match. And there is a clear tactical play out on the left side by George Fashive.
I was just watching Bryce's position. I thought he got it right as Gaston Fernandez looked to break out and find Schuma on the left side. Bryce recovered well and to get the block in as Shiloh tried to cut in.
Chicago Fire have replaced Adi Alton. Not going to take any chances, certainly with a potential injury to the head. So Jeff Lorenowitz, the veteran, comes on for Adi Alton. Lorenowitz, a career-long midfielder. Most recently for the Rapids has been converted to a center back, so he'll get more time back there tonight. I was about to say a wasted free kick there for Chicago, but Pay might have got a touch on it, and so it'll be a deep throw in here for Chicago. Stevens, Amarikwa, Duty, left-footed service. Weber reads it well. He's back for another year of that, it seems, with the Timbers. Arudi wanted to go quick. Instead, the Timbers take the air out for a moment. Volley forward by Arudi. Thought Asprilla was going to be bursting forward. Instead, it's a Chicago free kick in the 32nd minute. 1-0 our score. Thanks for joining us on Timbers.com tonight. Off of Asprilla. Paparazzo steps ahead of Amarikwa. Chicago wins it back. Strong tackle over there by the young Shiloh Schuma. Former Maryland Terrapin Schuma. Same college program that Rodney Wallace played for. Here's Greg Cochran for Chicago. Cochran a bit too busy with the argy-bargy there, and his cross left a lot to be desired.
It's good defending by Pay. You can see the athleticism in the young player. A couple times went for a bite, and Cochran was able to step around, but Pay plenty in the legs to recover. Didn't see as much of Fernandez as would have liked. Already tonight, the few times that he's gotten on the ball, he looks to create, looks dangerous. And early on, a few balls with him and Urruti look to be on the same page.
Timbers set up tonight in a 4-4-2 with Urruti and Fernandez as the forwards. Different types of forwards, no doubt. In the second 45, we expect those two players to depart, and Darlington Nagbe and Fernando Adi to be the pair up top for the home side. Fashive has already won a couple balls for the Timbers. A work of art there by Fernandez. Urruti was offside, but Sean Johnson had it covered.
Well, it was a great bit of skill by Fernandez, but the ball just wouldn't quite sit for him when he's popped it over the Chicago Fire. The opponent said, as it's come down, it's just bounced too much off the turf, because you think Fernandez, he would have been wanting to take that on.
You're saying he wanted the volley from 25 yards?
When it sits just nicely.
Yeah.
Coming off, you can catch those, you can get the dip, you can get the swerve, make it difficult for the keeper.
Beasler chest down, gets the ball back from Schuma, and then runs into Chris Ritter. Route 1 does not work for Chicago. The final preseason match of the year for the Timbers will come on Saturday. In the third match day, if you will, of this simple invitational. Urruti over the top to Asprilla. He's in the 18. I think thrown off balance a bit by Larentowicz on the shot attempt. It's well wide.
Great recovery by the experienced Larentowicz to get across. I think it was Duty chasing him down to give help, give pressure on Asprilla, but in the end it was Larentowicz just doing enough to throw him off.
You can see the pace that Asprilla possesses, often a flash. Will the finishing come with it as he builds in confidence in his first year with Portland?
We look as well in these matches with new faces coming on. How's their understanding of the players around them? A couple times, so one time a few minutes ago, Rudy's tried to send in Asprilla on a pass, but Asprilla wasn't on the same page. That time they were. So you expect that to grow during the season, to know the players, the tendencies, the balls that they enjoy running onto or to feet.
Timbers been a bit careless with the ball in the back half at times tonight. Asprilla was the latest man to give it up to Chicago, but he worked hard and got a foot in to try to win it back. There's good work by Taylor Pay, the young right back. Weber goes back to Paparazzo. 7 years for his club in Argentina. What is Lagata doing? He's not missing by much.
Well, I tell you, Keith, I was at training yesterday, and I promise you, he was on the sideline 30 yards out at an impossible angle, and he's tried it on the T2 goalkeeper, Justin, and Justin has done well to scramble back and tip it over the bar. I couldn't believe it. It was one I thought, I wish the cameras were on it, because it was so inventive, it was daring, but it was almost possible, and it's just about the same there tonight.
And he had a plan. That is exactly what Fernandez was trying to do, was score from 40 there.
He saw how high Sean Johnson was and thought he could catch him out.
Volley out of the air by Amarikwa. I think it was more of a cross than a shot. Easy stuff for Andrew Weber.
You haven't seen the combination of Bonanike and Amarikwa so much tonight. I think perhaps that's one out of frustration. Amarikwa hasn't had many chances, so the ball falls to him and he thinks, I'll take it on myself.
Well, Ross, you and I both practiced saying Igboananike about 20 times before the broadcast tonight, and I don't think we've said it more than once since we got on the air.
Well, we've wondered if it's going to be a name you're going to hear a lot of this season, because there's high hopes for him.
Oh, he had legitimately had 8 to 10 opportunities to score the other night against Stabæk. Is getting none of it this evening. Testament to the center back pairing, perhaps, of Anthony Manning and Papa. Beasler on the switch. Fernandez pulls back between the lines, chips over the top. Flag is going to stay down. Asprilla cuts his man Kingsley Bryce. Drops Fernandez. You know he wanted it. Instead, the back heel to Fashive, and wider now to Janderson. Gehrig header away.
The Timbers were trying to find their way through, but credit to Chicago. They kept things nice and narrow as soon as the ball came to Fernandez, and there wasn't a way through the middle. Ball in the box in the end is easy enough to deal with by Gehrig.
Into the 40th minute now. Michael Nanchoff's free kick in the 22nd minute. Off the shoulder of Alex. And into the net is the difference in this match. Nanchoff, 4 minutes later, departed. Arudi trying to dazzle us. Lorenowitz got to the ball but couldn't keep it from going over the byline. Corner kick, Portland.
It's a few interventions Lorenowitz has done since coming on, and shows you the experience. Probably wasn't quite as warmed up as he would have liked to have been, but has come on and has read the game well.
Timbers play short. Fernandez set Beasler up there for failure, I think. Nick, excuse me, couldn't get to it quickly enough. And Igboananike is taken down. He's got a word or two for the official. Frustrating half for the Nigerian.
Well, that's an area that you worry about with Chicago, with Igboananike, this pace on their counter-attack. But we just saw a little taste of Fashive and what he has in his athleticism.
Pay in tight on his man, Greg Cochran. Fire. Switch out to Kingsley Bryce. Manning stoops to head away.
Good positioning too. I tend to have my focus with being a centre back going there to see the centre back pairings, how the positions are. Right there where Manny's won it. He's got the first stick covered, and Paparazzo good distance away, marking a player in good areas.
Ross, as a former center back, would you say that's 60% of the job? It's just being in the right place?
Get in the right place. You can sense it though. If you're having a good match, as soon as the ball leaves the boot, you get a sense of where it's going to go. You get to the positions early, but you stay connected with your center back partner. Ball's going to come between those sticks.
Nice ball by Alex over the top. Bryce makes a mess of it.
Great ball in behind the Timbers. Pulled them open, but Bryce just the quality letting them down.
Shilo Shuma and George Fashive combining through the midfield. There is the strength and the power of the 5'9" Igboananike. He got his body between Paparazzo and the ball, and it looked like the center back for Portland had to bring his hands to Kennedy's face.
Igboananike did well just to bump Paparazzo at the right time. You have to say you'd want your center back to stay stronger in those situations. Get your clearance, make sure that ball doesn't go beyond you. Paparazzo scrambling in the end and conceding a free kick in a dangerous area.
It'll be Stevens again. Former Galaxy man, 25-year-old. First year with the Fire. Besler off the corner flag. Corner kick for Chicago.
You can tell the crowd are watching, can't you? Every little bit, the groan for it to go out for a corner kick. They're fighting every little battle as well, too, for the players.
Cochran, outswinger, near post. Garrigan, Manning collide, another corner kick. Less than 2 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here in the first half. Again near post. Oh no, Paparazzo off the back of his head. Side netting, own goal, 1-1.
Well, it's a tough one as a defender. Ball's whipped in at a decent pace, but you look at the bodies. Paparazzo, as it comes around, takes them by surprise. Perhaps expecting another player to head it. Very little time to react, and the angle of his body is ahead of the ball, and as he's scrambling to react, guides it beyond Weber.
Yeah, surprising part of that wasn't too much to deal with for Paparazzo in his vicinity. He stooped to try to get his head on the ball. You always admire a defender for making the effort, but he couldn't have nestled that into the side netting any better.
You couldn't do it again.
Yeah.
The striker would be proud of that finish. Paparazzo, as I say, as the ball's coming through bodies, his reaction time, his surprise, it's more bounced off his own head and gone in than him having an effect on where he would have preferred the ball to go.
Just 1 minute of added time here with the match now all square.
First half, 1 minute.
Paparazzo was the victim of an own goal early in the season last year, and it affected his confidence. I don't think there was any question about that.
Yep.
It wasn't the sole reason that his form dipped, but he worked all year to get it back. Great combo play from the Timbers. How about the pass to Arudi from Jonderson? Shot blocked, dropped, and then splayed far too wide by Shuma. Foshive was the man who dropped the ball for Shiloh's attempt.
As he said, it was tremendous build-up play. Nice triangle on the left side of the pitch, which sprung Jonderson loose on the left side, and Maxi, you wanted him to hit it there with his left. As the ball came in, he had his first touch. Maybe didn't settle as much as he would have liked, but a player like him, he thrives on half chances, and for me, that was a half chance for him.
Well, there were storylines all over the pitch as this preseason match began. How would Paparazzo and Manning do as a center back pairing? How would the midfield of Foshive and Besler do as the engine room of the Timbers? And what about the proven talents and the partnership of Legata Fernandez and Arudi? Just your thoughts before we take a break here at halftime on any or all of the above.
Well, I think the own goal has dampened the feeling the Timbers would have had if they were going in 1-0. But I think as a manager, you'd be content. You're content at those relationships, at the product so far, realizing it is preseason, realizing it is some players' first time in front of a crowd. And so going in that dressing room, you're seeing a bit of the identity that you'd like from your team. And so overall, I think you're content, but I think you always want more.
Yeah, it was a bit of a gut punch there at the end. The own goal to even things up should make for an interesting second half. I'm Keith Blair along with Ross Smith. We're at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. We'll take a break. Our online coverage of this match will continue in approximately 10 minutes. So get your cup of tea and come on back for the final 45 minutes.
1960, when John Glenn began with One Oregon Millwork Plant, we've been dedicated to crafting reliable windows and doors. Today you can see, touch, and feel reliability in our beautiful windows and doors because of their durability, energy efficiency, and worry-free performance. We measure our success by the relationships we build with our customers, suppliers, and communities where we live and work. We partner with organizations such as the Green Building Initiative, which accelerates green building practices by promoting environmentally progressive approaches that are practical, affordable, and accessible. Want to explore more and spend less? Alaska Airlines makes it easy with great fares to places you really want to go. Bask in the warmth of Hawaii with flights to 4 Hawaiian islands and follow the Timbers on the road. Fly Alaska to Washington, D.C. and watch the Timbers take on D.C. United. Maybe a quick trip down the coast to San Jose to shake up the earthquakes. No matter where you go, Alaska offers the most flights and the most places from Portland. Explore more, spend less, visit alaskaair.com. The simple invitation was presented by the new official online banking partner of the Portland Timbers, Simple. With no minimum balance and no surprise fees, find out how this hometown option fits your lifestyle. Visit simple.com/timbers to learn more. KeyBank is the exclusive banking sponsor of the Portland Timbers and home of the KeyBank hassle-free account. Checklist account with many payment options, no monthly fees, and no hassles, plus a $150 gift. Switch today.
The penultimate preseason game for the Portland Timbers at Providence Park in the downtown area of the Rose City. Keith Blyer and Ross Smith, 1-1 between the Timbers and the Chicago Fire. We could show you some of the highlights from the first 45 minutes. A young side, aside from maybe the two forwards for Portland, Urruti and Fernandez. The early look by Chris Ritter on the header. And Asprilla forced a fine save out of Sean Johnson. There's a shot from distance out of George Foshive. Here's the goal, Ross. Michael Nanchoff. A lot of bend on that ball.
That's where you wondered why the muted celebration, and a couple minutes later Nanchoff having to come off. So you wonder whether he tweaked something on the free kick or whether it was something before then. But yeah, wicked deflection to give the Timbers the lead.
He leaves with an injury, but also a slice of the victory log. Urruti over the top for Asprilla. Lorenowitz arrives to make it difficult. Alex with a wonderful pass, and Kingsley Bryce should have done better. Then there was this. Norberto Papparato with the unfortunate own goal. And that evened things up with about a minute to play in the first half. So we're all square. And we know of at least two new players for the Timbers. Portland going to plan. Caleb Porter has put Darlington Nagbe and Fernando Adion as the two forwards. They replace Gaston Fernandez and Maxi Urruti. And Ross, can you kind of analyze the thought process, or maybe what the strategy is to have Nagbe and Adi play the second 45 in this match tonight?
Well, I think what you're doing, you're sending a message to your players is that, hey, this position's up for grabs at the start of the season. You're looking for the combination play between two strikers, two very different strikers. And Gaston and Urruti, we talked about them being more the predatory strikers looking to sniff around the box, whereas with Adi and Nagbe coming in, Adi, you've got the presence to hold the ball. He's solid in the air, and Nagbe, the pace to run beyond, and that athleticism between the two.
And the lightning to go with the thunder, if you will. Trying to find Adi early. The ball behind him, and we're underway here in the second half. Quick scan of the field for the Fire, and they have not made any changes to their starting 11. They did make a change. Excuse me, they did make a change in the first half due to the knock to the head for Adi Alton. Jeff Lorenowitz came on. The number 20 there for Chicago at center back. Unlimited substitutions, of course, in this preseason friendly. Adi chases down Gehrig, dispossesses the Chicago man, and now it's Dairon Asprilla. Could not get around his marker out on the far touchline. Papparato stepping to the ball right away. Big boy Nanike. Quiet night so far. He did suffer 4 fouls in the first half, so he has been disrupted by the Timbers at times, but ineffective. I think it's fair to say. Chip over the top for Greg Cochran. Cross blocked. Wider now. Duty sends one in. Big boy Nanike the target. Beasler holds off his man. Out to Stevens. And now it's Taylor Pay. That'll be a corner kick. Fans don't agree with that call. It certainly looked at first glance like it would be a goal kick, but this is a problem spot for the Timbers after giving up the own goal on the last corner kick at the end of the first half. This is another outswinger. Timbers rise. Portland comes away. Jonderson. Nagbe's first moments of the match. Ritter doesn't agree with the whistle. Great work by Asprilla. Good ball by Beasler. Asprilla in for Adi. Trying to muscle Lorenowitz down. Draws a corner kick. Two newcomers, Asprilla and Beasler, looking good out wide for Portland.
Well, it was a great ball into Asprilla initially as well, too. Switched the point of attack. Ball got all the way out to Asprilla. You say quick bounce into the middle to Beasler. Just puts it in the turf. Lets Asprilla go running after it.
Jonderson's going to take the corner kick here for Portland. Their second of the match. Floats it high. Looking for Paparazzo. Got his head on it. Ball driven back in there by Fashive. Chicago clears and clears their lines. Stevens under the pressure of Jonderson. Beasler and the Brazilian there, Jonderson, discussing that moment. Big moment this for young Nick Beasler. Mentioned in the first half. Top draft pick by Portland as Jonderson goes over the top of Alex. Beasler out of Notre Dame. Number 5 overall in the MLS Super Draft. Richards spots Cochran. A bit too tall. Paparazzo half volleys away, and then Shields. And Weber has been very clean here this evening for the Timbers.
Yeah, everything he's been asked to do, I think he's done well. Been nice and solid, nice and safe.
How about that hold-up play by Adi with one touch, dropping it to Nagbe. His shot, and it was hit with some venom, is blocked by Gehrig.
I think you'll see a bit more of that with the big target man like Adi. Balls into him, but watch Nagbe to stay nice and close. So he's got the pace to go beyond if it's going to be a flick on, but anything into the body. Nagbe just coming off the front to combine.
They say play in, play off, right? Into Adi, and Nagbe plays off of the big man. Paparazzo with an ambitious ball. Beasler takes it away from Igboananike. Beasler again. Adi found a seam, but was a step or two offside. Adi agrees, no complaint, even gave the assistant the thumbs up.
Well, there was a high line that Chicago were playing, and they saw Adi going to make the run, and so they've pressed up, and fortunate for them that Adi's just gone a yard offside.
Gehrig up from retying his boot to get that square ball from Lorenowitz.
It'll be a big thing for Frank Yallop to see his back four. Obviously a change with Lorenowitz coming in, but to see if they're all connected, if they're all on the same line, same page, it's a good indication when you can pull the offside trap that high up the pitch.
Jonderson pounces, toe pokes away. Chicago still in the attacking third. This is Quincy Amarikwa. Draws the foul off of Anthony Manning. Amarikwa, the only man to score for the Chicago Fire in this entire preseason to date. The goal tonight for Chicago, unfortunately for Papa, was scored by Norberto Paparazzo. Michael Nanchoff has the Timbers goal. Guess you could say that both teams were a bit fortunate on dead ball strikes tonight.
When you look at Lorenowitz, I've seen him right the way through his career, even in college. He can hit these.
He wants it. Oof. You had that right, partner.
I saw him play when he was at university. He had a free kick, and the distance that he was lining it up, and I thought, what's this guy all about? And he hit it with unbelievable pace and swerve. And that, as you can see, just gets a bit below it, but the way it is knuckling.
Yeah. Hits it dead. There was no spin on that ball.
It's one of those, whether it's with the new balls that have come into the modern game as well too, that make it a bit of a nightmare for goalies, but the style in which the modern day player can hit it as well too, where it knuckles, and as you said, it does stand still, the patterns, but the way it knuckles at the keeper, it makes it tricky.
Yeah, you see players like Cristiano Ronaldo is kind of hitting that dead ball a lot more in his free kick attempts. I've seen Messi do it as well. Maybe the bend 'em like Beckham thing is the 1990s. Maybe we're into a new era.
It's the youngsters, you can see the way they can hit them as well too. You go up to the pitches and you say, how do you hit those? And you think, no idea. Definitely a skill for the quality players that can make a ball do the funny things.
Ritter holds off Adi. Might have grabbed a bit of his jersey. Jonderson, no complaints. Not sure if that was a handball. Ball might have popped up on the Brazilian left back. Jonderson, who played for 4 teams in his native Brazil. You think your fellow Ginger Larenowitz is going to have it from here?
You always look at the way players, the way they set up the ball as well too.
Back to Jonderson for a moment. His first opportunity to play football out of Brazil. As I mentioned, 4 teams down there in South America, most recently Santa Rita. Oh, down goes Kantar.
Should be blocked.
Crowd got a kick out of that. Jonderson was put in the book, so I think it might have been an intentional play with the hand there. A caution, and the first of the game for Portland. It's Amarikwa and Jonderson carrying cautions here in the 56th minute now. Jonderson with an escape act there. Might have been a handball in Chicago. Right in front of the assistant. The Simple Invitational is presented by the official online banking partner of the Portland Timbers, with no minimum balance and no surprise fees. See the way banking should be. Open your account today at simple.com/Timbers. Amarikwa and Besler collide. Exchange a slap of hands, and Amarikwa comes out looking the worst from that challenge. Favoring his left side.
It was a clumsy challenge by Amarikwa. Space just opened up in the middle for Besler to turn out and to possibly find in defeat, but Amarikwa just barreling over him.
Fire holding a high line here, well outside the 18. Garrett got a foot on it. Ritter's there. Nagbe chest down. Nice play wide. Ball sent in by Schuma. It teased that upper 90 at the far post. Might have been designed to be a service, but he nearly found the score sheet. Sean Johnson, bright future ahead of him, the Chicago Fire goalkeeper. I mentioned he missed the match on Sunday due to a gash in his arm. Over 130 games now in Major League Soccer, and more than on the radar for the U.S. men's national team. He comes out, reads that well, keeps it away from Adi.
get the sense with Adi and Nagbe, with their pace, if they can just find that ball in beyond Lorenowitz and Garrick, that it's there for him to spring loose of the back four.
Clear foul on Paparazzo. In fact, he receives a word from the official. Poor choice by Ritter. Not with Asprilla in the neighborhood. That voice you just heard there was Caleb Porter. He jumped off the bench and was unhappy with passage of play out of the Timbers. Here's Quincy Amarikwa. Spots Greg Cochran. He's got space. Thought about the shot. Thinks again. Shoots. Deflected. Down and just wide. Corner kick Chicago. Wouldn't that be something? Third deflected or fluky goal. Michael Stevens has had a reunion this week with his former Stabæk teammates. Low to the near post. Cochran tried to use the outside of the right boot there. Important work defensively by Stevens. Chasing down Asprilla. We expect a number of substitutions here momentarily as we hit the hour mark. Player like Asprilla was booked for 60 minutes by Caleb Porter and his staff. So he is likely to depart in a moment. Looks like a pair of substitutions getting ready for the home side. At least one for Chicago.
Substitutions for the Timbers into the match. Number 42, Blair Gavin.
Blair Gavin is the next youngster to make a debut at Providence Park in 2015 for Portland. He replaces Nick Beasler, gets a handshake from his head coach. So Gavin is on. Second substitution. Jonderson, a bit surprised or confused. Eventually retreats with a smile on his face. Brazilian's night is done. And Andy Toma, former Washington Husky, coming on at left back. Portland, and he gets a strike right away. That's always nice. Run on, and within 2 seconds, just thump the ball forward. Get yourself into the match in a hurry. Toma gets in twice right away. 21-year-old, born in New Mexico. As I mentioned, played for the Huskies. And here come a slew of substitutions. The man who just trotted on for Chicago is going to play a very important role for the Fire in 2015. Sean Maloney, most recently with Wigan Athletic in the championship in England, has come on. Razvan Kocic, the Romanian, also on the field for Chicago, and Shaden Winchester as well. Jovan Jones is now playing left back for the Fire. I believe those are the 4 changes we just saw. Flag up again on Fernando Adi. But Maloney is the man worth the most mention Ross, 32-year-old, decorated career in the UK, international for Scotland. That's Igboananike, blocked by Anthony Manning and collected by Weber.
Well, he's had a tremendous career and still a player with, you want to think, a few more years left at the top of his game, and just shows the strength of the league for him to come across at this stage of his career. Coming on with Chicago Fire, you'll see him sit more into the number he's wearing, the number 10 role. Iroquois into the match, more of your central two strikers, but he'll just play off Igboananike and look to combine.
Spria stays on, at least for the moment, here for the Timbers. Ritter wide to Kingsley Bryce. Floats one in. Igboananike arises well over Paparazzo. Could not get enough power on the ball. Handled by Weber. One all the score here in the 65th minute. I'm Keith Blyer along with Ross Smith. Excited about another year in the broadcast booth as the Timbers try to get back to the MLS Cup playoffs after missing out by a single point last year. A single moment, if you will. The goal by Kendall Waston of Vancouver on the last night of the regular season knocked the Timbers out of the playoff picture. We all know that it was Portland's slow start that made it difficult for the Timbers, with 5 draws and 3 losses in their first 8 matches. But in the last 26, they racked up 44 points. They won 12, drew 8, and lost only 6.
We see Caleb Porter having a look at 2 different sets of strikers tonight, and you wonder if that's in the mind. It's got to be in the mind from last season, is the first games at the start where the lack of goals compared to the final. Well, if you look at the first 11 games, the goals that the Timbers had, 1.45 they averaged. The last 23, near enough 2 goals. And so how important that is for the Timbers to come out, scoring their goals, getting the right pairing.
Igboananike a little too quick there for Paparazzo. Strong intervention inside the 18 by Taylor Pay. Whew, Aspria, pretty. Nagbe, prettier. Just missed Aspria. That is fun to watch.
Well, you see the
you
smile
ready for
on
another year?
Well, we've seen Nagbe, what he can do in tight spaces, the invention. Very few players across the league can come up with.
Garrick will go to wide to Jovan Jones. Trinidadian. Joining the Chicago Fire from Helsinki in Finland. Quick restart. This is Jones. Left-footed service. Good for Igboananike, and Manning was right where he needed to be. This is Sean Maloney. The Renowitz will use Bryce, combining with Kochish. Paparazzo rushed clearance. Shuma finds Nagbe. Nagbe and Adi. The Renowitz playing it safe. Well, Ross, I'm certainly not going to ask you which forward pairing you think had the better performance. Sliding attempt by Andy Toma to send the ball in does well. But the difference in looks and style from Arudi and Fernandez in the first half, and Nagbe and Adi here in the second half. Of course, there's still half of this half to play, so we'll hold off on that. But you were mentioning the importance of getting goals out of the gate. Getting goals out of the gate, I think, is what Portland's hoping they see.
Well, what you have is different threats, and that's what you need. If you have, you think 4 strikers, four players you're looking at to get you goals, they can't all be the same mold. You have to have something different that you can throw at opponents' defenses. Whether it's the strikers who like to stay between the sticks in the 18-yard box, that's where they operate, or ones who like to come in and then running beyond. You need that variation.
Look at Nagbe playing off Adi yet again. Wider now. That was Gavin on the cross. He didn't hit it well, but
it was a foul on Nagbe as he laid the ball off, trying to run on.
Okay. No, I think they're giving the Timbers a free kick.
Yeah, sorry, a foul, Chicago Fire that they did on
Nagbe.
Committed on Nagbe as he was trying. So he laid off the ball. Referee was just seeing if he could play on, but as you say, the ball, not a good cross by Blair Gavin, so the referee's pulled it back. Didn't see an advantage.
He's going to have another chance here with his preferred right foot. Conversation between Ritter and Mr. Gantar. Gavin floats one in, far post, put right where he wanted, I think. Anthony Manning with the downward header.
Just a little too quick, and Manning's run into the box. I think Blair Gavin, if he could have that back, maybe just a little less height on the ball. Get it more driven in for the player streaking in, for your defender. Maybe glances off you. Attacker, you get the nice power in behind it. If it's too lofted, sometimes it's tough to generate that power.
Ball out. Winchester can't keep it in. Timbers do have, it appears, one last man warming up, and that is Danny O'Rourke. Adi, ball back from Nagbe. Drops it back to Darlington again. Change of pace. Oh, look at the flick there. Pretty stuff. Blair Gavin's service. Headed away by Jones.
Strength.
Nice little shift to the hips and strength by Fashive. Look at the effort by Paparazzo. Adi trying to turn Gehrig. Cochran gives it up to Pay. Do we have a game-winning goal in this preseason match here tonight? That was Schuma with the full-blooded volley, excuse me.
It was brave.
Here's Winchester. Yeah.
That's what you get with the youngsters coming in.
Cochiche, strong service. Weber parries away. Actually, it was Cochiche at Weber's doorstep. Maloney is the man who whipped that ball in. My apologies.
It's a tough one for a keeper to deal with. Weber did enough. Ball's being whipped in that dangerous area as Cochiche was was streaking in.
Gavin down the line for Adi, chested back. Chipped over the top by Andy Toma. Nagbe's quick, but Toma knows he's not quite that quick.
Toma, he's a player that's impressed in preseason. Very competent left back. Plenty of energy, nice left foot. And again, you see that relationship between Adi and Nagbe. If it's there for Nagbe to play off the front of him. If not, as Adi comes in, Nagbe, he's got that pace to run in behind. Just needs the supply.
Two more changes coming shortly for Chicago Fire. Gehrig gets the better of Adi there. Adi complaining to Kantar.
It's the challenge you want as a center back, though. Win the ball and put the striker on the ground.
Anthony Manning just thumps the ball off the moon. Drops down. Nagbe has it under his spell and works again with Adi. This time the foul is called.
That's what Adi's saying. He wanted the call back before with Gehrig. I think that second one, though, he's got a case. Lorenowitz using all his experience, seeing Nagbe streaking on, and Adi just putting it into an area for Nagbe to run onto that. Lorenowitz take the foul there, get everybody set up behind the ball.
Harry Shipp comes on for Michael Stevens, and Kennedy Igboenike's night is over. Albert Edwards will play up top. Foshive drops out to Gavin. Here's Shiloh Shuma. Lorenowitz on the slide. Edwards with his first touch. Maloney a little too shifty there for Gavin. Seven changes have been made by Chicago in this match. Not sure if Portland will get up to that number, but they are going to send two more players on here. And that would bring them to 7 substitutions as well. Koshish back to Harry Shipp. Shipp certainly proved himself last year. 33 matches for the Chicago Fire. Played with Nick Beasler at Notre Dame, did Harry Shipp. Here's Asprilla. It's going much more than the 60 minutes. It might have been planned. It's been active out there on the far touchline in front of a crowd of over 10,000 here on a Wednesday night in the preseason.
For the Timbers, into the match, number 25, Danny O'Rourke. For number 20, Taylor Pay. Also in for Portland, number 46, Rondell Winchester. For number 11, Dairon Asprilla.
Winchester comes on for Portland. He will replace Asprilla. And his substitution has already been announced. Chicago wants to play, but Danny O'Rourke wants to get on, and he's going to have to wait. O'Rourke will replace Taylor Pay.
What a touch that was. Just a quick little glimpse of the quality. Sean Maloney, back heel, player on his back. Tremendous awareness.
Adi again trying to knock the ball down for Nagbe. And there it is. Maloney with another little back heel. Might have used the sole of the boot there. Here's Razvan Koshish. Nagbe with a big smile on his face. Of course, that's the default facial expression for Darlington Nagbe. Always carrying a smile. This one's a bit sheepish after the foul. Danny O'Rourke is coming on, and as many know, he featured for the Timbers last year. He's actually a trialist in this preseason for Portland. So we're not sure if he'll begin the year with his Timbers side. But he can do a job, and I know that Caleb Porter carries a great deal of respect for Danny O'Rourke. He was one of his first recruits when Porter was a young coach, an assistant for Yeagley at Indiana. Maloney skirting around Shiloh Shuma, who has moved out to the right. That allows Winchester to play on the left. He's the number 46. Gehrig's heart skipped a beat there. Isolated 1v1 on Darlington Nagbe. Just over 10 minutes left in this match. And then it's Saturday, 5 p.m. against Bob Bradley's Stabæk team. They are a Norwegian side. Bradley is entering his second year with a team that plays in the Tippeligaen, which is the Norwegian domestic league. He led that very young side to a 9th place finish out of 16 teams in that league. Here's Albert Edwards. Paparazzo sends that one up and over the fence beyond the southern front here at Providence Park. Corner kick for Chicago. So we'll have that game for you. Bradley, by the way, recently inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame, and a well-deserved honor, former national team coach. Here's Maloney. He's going far post. Header down by Gehrig. One-handed punch by Weber. Potential counterattack. Nagbe misplays the pass to Winchester, and a player is down back in the 6-yard box. That's Larentowicz. He'll be attended to.
Well, the referee's blown up. You've seen it was a knock of the head for Larentowicz. Andrew Weber opted to go for the punch, didn't get the contact he would have liked. Perhaps worried that if he went to catch the ball, player underneath him could have popped up, but that's why the referee is blown up, because he's seen that the knock was to the head.
Might be bleeding too. Tough man, Jeff Larentowicz.
Hasn't put a foot wrong for me since he's come on as sub.
In a new position at center back. 31 years old, nearly 300 games in Major League Soccer. 2 seasons with Chicago now. This will be his 3rd.
What a ball.
Wonderful long diagonal ball from Gehrig into Winchester. Some work here. Albert Edwards, excuse me, in the corner there. Thank you, partner. There've only been 14 changes in this preseason match, and there are no names on the back of the jerseys, or at least most of them. Sean Maloney. He deserves a name on the back of his jersey. That one sizzles over the top of the crossbar. Would it miss by 1, maybe 2 inches?
Well, you see, before receiving that ball, his intention was to get a shot away. Finds himself in good space. Good first touch out of his feet. Generates enough power, but just couldn't get the height anywhere near to test. Well, it was enough to worry Weber. You say that with all the substitutions. Hasn't quite been a rhythm to the second half.
No, I think that's fair to say. Yeah.
Fairly scrappy and expectantly so, though. You're getting players on to get the match fitness, to get the atmosphere. get a chance to perhaps show, whether it's a glimpse, a taste to the manager of what you can do, however much time you're given.
Maloney faces up. Jovan Jones, Harry Shipp, pretty turn. This is Kingsley Bryce. Misplays a pass into Edwards. Worked out for the Fire. Winchester, the man right there in the bright orange boots. Ooh, that was a pretty turn. My goodness. Shot is blocked, and very importantly so, by Paparazzo.
Winchester disguised it well, his move, as Manning comes in. It's not to the last second that Winchester, see, he opens up his hips, takes the ball with the outside of his feet. Manning expecting Winchester just to play a ball back into his midfield. Didn't expect a quick turn. But as he said, Paparazzo doing well to get across.
Clear foul there by Bryce on Winchester. Gavin square to Paparazzo. Danny O'Rourke is dying for a touch. There you go, Danny boy. Got one out wide. Here's Anthony Manning. Appears poised to play the full 90 here tonight. The rookie out of St. Louis University. Winchester touches it down. Good look into the feet of Adi. Left-footed shot blocked by Gehrig. That's a way to pick out a pass.
Great ball in. To Adi, the Fire defense, they drop deep, and Adi staying well onside, but Gehrig, you have to say, recovered well to take the chance away from Adi, who was looking to get a strike on with his left peg.
Edwards underneath Anthony Manning. Shaden Winchester, the number 29 for Chicago, has been a ball of energy for Chicago. Portland's Winchester, the number 46. Gavin square to O'Rourke. Just over 4 minutes plus stoppage time. We're tied at 1. Both goals coming in the first half. 22nd minute. Michael Nanshaw for the free kick. Deflected. And beyond Sean Johnson. Albert Edwards has the ball knocked away. Here's Ritter. And now Maloney driving at the heart of the Timbers defense behind Shipp. And that is not a foul that will please the Timbers coaching staff. In from behind on Nagbe late in a preseason match. Ritter's there and will apologize, and that is a bit of class from the midfielder for Chicago after something not quite as classy.
It's one that Ritter, I don't think he's gone in there with any intent to hurt Nagbe. Such is his pace, Nagbe, that he's able to make up a couple of yards so quickly that he gets in front of a challenge, and that's why he's such a fouled man in this league, that his pace can quickly nip in front, get a toe, and your tackle is just getting wrapped around the legs.
Adi pressuring Larentowicz. Corner kick for the Timbers. It'll be their third of the match. The goal, by the way, for Chicago, if you joined our online broadcast a bit late this evening, was an own goal on a corner kick for Chicago off the back of the head of Paparazzo. Blair Gavin will take this one. In a dangerous spot, headed away. Nagbe square for Shive, trying to get it back to Darlington. Throws his body at the ball. Quick yellow card for Shive.
We look at Addy getting in front.
Whoa. And a red. And he's off.
Addy's getting in front to protect the youngsters. One off to see again. The ball sprung loose, and Foshive's perhaps gone in a bit hard, but my initial reaction was that he got the ball. Whether the referee has seen that as being studs up.
Foshive was
excessive force.
There, was carrying a caution. Second yellow. And he's been sent off here tonight. Chip to Koshish. Paparazzo in the right spot. Timbers will play a man down here for the final minutes, plus added time. Hadi can't quite flip the hips there. Walking the tightrope that is the touchline there.
We chatted about this the other night, though, Keith, to get a red card in a preseason match where you're affecting the game. I know there's only a few minutes left here, but the other night where obviously it took the purpose out of the match the other night, where you can't play your system.
Yeah, I suppose it's a little less damaging with 1 minute remaining, but the Timbers have been issued 3 red cards in their first 2 games of this simple invitational. Bryce floats one, upper 90 far post, and does not miss by, what, an inch or two?
I think it was intended
No.
as a cross there, but it was enough to startle Weber, thinking it was going to find the back of the net, side netting.
Timbers will open the regular season a week from Saturday. It is exactly 10 days away. It'll be March 7th at home against Real Salt Lake. We are building to that crescendo as this simple invitational continues with one more doubleheader of matches, if you will, this Saturday. Harry Shipp spraying the ball around the park quite nicely, showing his class and the reason he made such a major impact as a young player for Chicago. Look at Maloney. Little pullback. Slides one in for Shipp, and Paparazzo is there. He's had 3 or 4 clearances. Flag stays down. Shipp would like to do that one again.
It was good play between Shipp and Maloney, and you look where Shipp initiated the possession on one side of the pitch, found himself across nearest to us, and then the next pass from Maloney, he was back onto the other side, creating problems.
Shaden Winchester. Ritter collects. Fire will open their season a week from Friday. They'll play at the Galaxy. Sean Maloney. Scissor move. Jovan Jones. Ball sent right across the face of goal, and with his head in his hands, Albert Edwards knows a game-winning goal was there for the taking.
Well, it was a great ball by Jones. Great area. You have to say Jones should be doing better. Whether it was Weber coming out, that's thrown Edwards off. I think all he needed was a touch at least to try and place it on the frame. See the difference that Maloney does make, though, since his insertion into the game, him coming in, and Harry Shipp as well, too. 2 bright spots for the Fire.
Will the Timbers send the ball forward once more? They'll find the feet of Adi, flicks it on. Winchester falls to Nagbe, left-footed shot. Doesn't put enough on it, and Sean Johnson is down to his left to preserve the tie. No points to be shared, just a preseason match with only one more remaining. Frank Yallop and Caleb Porter for the handshake at midfield. That is Clint Mathis right behind Frank Yallop, former national team player, now a member of Chicago's coaching staff, and he's shaking the hand there at the end of the line with the brand new T2 coach, Jay Vidovich. But it's 1-1. Nanchoff free kick. Paparazzo own goal on a Chicago corner kick. And then a bunch of personnel changes there in the second half. 14 in all. I think I'd like to start maybe, Ross, with those combinations up top, right? You got Urruti and Fernandez in the first half. That was the plan, followed by Adi and Nagbe. What'd you see?
Just in the first half, I thought Urruti and Gaston Fernandez, they started brightly. I thought you could see their understanding of each other, getting themselves into dangerous areas. They didn't quite have that finishing product where with Urruti in the past, a couple of half chances, you'd at least see him testing the keeper. Second half, you got a taste of the athleticism, but you have to say the service around into the strike force, both the first half and second half, wasn't quite there. As we said, a little bit of scrappy of the game, no real rhythm in possession, but at the same time, it's an exciting pairing that you perhaps may see a bit more of, and you think about that. It's nice for Caleb Porter to have those threats to come on with the goals between Adi, Fernandez, and Urruti that they provided last season.
Equally as exciting, you can take a red Sharpie and you can put an X on another box on your calendar, because we are now 9 days away from the opener on March 7th. Well, thanks for tuning in on Timbers.com tonight. We will be back on Saturday at 5 o'clock for the final match of the Simple Invitational. It'll be the Timbers and Stabæk of Norway, led by Coach Bob Bradley. For Ross Smith and our entire crew here at Providence Park, I'm Keith Blyer. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday evening. The rain held off through the entire 90 minutes, and we end with a 1-all draw. We'll see you Saturday, 5 p.m.